Well, it has finally come to this. After making videos on companies like Twitch, Sony, Nintendo, Ubisoft, and so on, I guess it was only a matter of time until I spoke about YouTube. Hello, what's up, and welcome everyone. My name is Miss Quinn, and this new guideline could affect the gaming content the most. Well, it is going to affect them the most. We all know it's normal at this point, honestly, for YouTube to implement new guidelines that we all have to follow because, they are Big Daddy YouTube and we have to play by the rules. The new rule is coming to us for gaming content specifically. This will obviously affect a lot of Let's Players. So let's just get into this and I'll tell you my opinions afterwards. YouTube's strengthened approach to online gambling and graphic violence in gaming. Hi creators, starting on November 17, 2025, will be strengthening enforcement of our community guidelines around online gambling and graphic violence in gaming. Our policies are designed to evolve alongside the digital world. We're making these updates to keep pace with new trends like gambling with digital goods and to more closely align our guidelines for mature content with industry standards. Here's a summary of what's changing. Online gambling content. Our current policy prohibits content that directs viewers to online gambling sites or applications that are not certified by Google. We're expanding our enforcement to now cover online gaming with additional items that have monetary value, including digital goods, i.e., video game skins, cosmetics, NFTs. Social casino content. We're updating our approach to casino-style games where nothing of real-world monetary value is wagered or cashed out. Content that depicts or promotes or facilitates social casino sites will now be age-restricted. Graphic gaming content. In addition to our existing guidelines around graphic gaming content, we will age-restrict an additional small subset of video game content featuring realistic human characters that focuses on scenes of, I'm not going to say that word, or scenes of mass violence against non-combatants. We'll consider several factors when reviewing this type of content, such as duration. If the graphic scene is sustained rather than fleeting, for compilation videos, we will now consider the duration of all graphic clips combined. You know how long I have been trying to pronounce that word, guys? It is ridiculous. If the violent imagery is zoomed in or the main focus of the scene, realistic human characters if the violence is happening to a character that looks like a real human. Now, they go over that this will be going into effect November 17, which is just in 14 days. Before this happens, of course, people can edit their videos using their editor thing, that they have in YouTube Studio. Those who normally don't edit their videos will now have to, of course, edit their videos when it comes to graphic gaming content. Like, for example, they gave out the, advanced interview methods, like the one in Grand Theft Auto 5, for example. And if you have never played Grand Theft Auto 5, then you don't know which scene I'm talking about. But if you have played Grand Theft Auto 5, then you know which one I'm talking about. It's the one where Trevor is interviewing, for lack of a better term, a man about information of a guy who they need to punch the ticket for. And in Grand Theft Auto, as you know, is a very realistic game for the most part, and this new game won't be any less so. Call of Duty, from what I remember, does have advanced interview methods, but I can be remembering on the first game because I haven't really played the campaign for any of the others. But my question is, will YouTube's bot be age restricting our videos based off of the game alone, like the category? Like if I say, oh, this is gaming content, and you know how you put the game, well, it says, optional, but now you have to put that and be like, and as soon as you put Grand Theft Auto, will it automatically age restrict us? Or will it actually be able to check if the video is blurred and those things are edited out and all that stuff? We expect most channels will experience little to no impact, but we know this is a lot of information, and we want to ensure you that you have time to adapt. Existing videos, content uploaded before November 17, 2025 that violates these guidelines may be removed or age restricted, but will not result in a strike. Remember, age restricted videos can stay on your channel for 18 plus audiences. Making edits for creators who have content that's in scope of these updates, you may still be able to edit your video description or use video editor to trim or blur tools to make any necessary changes before November 17, 2025. Notifications. If we age restrict or remove your content, we will notify you by email. If you disagree with the decision, you can always choose to appeal. As a content creator, before I upload a video, I automatically have my videos as, no, this video is not meant for kids and my content is not made for kids, basically. I have that as a default option. It is always there. I never change it because I don't want a kid coming onto my channel and saying, oh, well, you said your channel is made for kids. No, I at least want to put it out there that, hey, I do not make videos intentionally for children, because I make innuendos, I make god-awful jokes, and no, I don't necessarily swear on here anymore, but if they just want to look at my Twitch, oh, honey, I swear so much in there. I don't want them to see that. I don't know if YouTube will also take the channels that do that as well, such as those, into consideration when checking on videos. But, who am I talking about? Of course they won't. YouTube has made many changes that have also impacted a lot of gaming content before in the past, but now they will be implementing even more. Now, the last bullet point that they have, if violence is happening to a character that looks like a real human. The reason why I felt the need to highlight that is because now you have a lot of horror games that, are at risk. So if you have Let's Players that only dedicate themselves to horror games, they are obviously at risk as well. Like Grand Theft Auto, obviously, I don't really have to explain much there. Dead by Daylight because of the Moris, Resident Evil, Silent Hill, need I say more? But you have the line from earlier saying scenes of mass violence against non-combatants. Those are basically saying, the NPCs that are not soldiers, they're not enemies essentially, so they're not shooting you or anything. And again, this could also be about GTA. How many times have we gone on rampages by getting in our car and, I really don't have to say it. Or going and getting, a pew pew and going pew 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 on everybody. Again, I don't have to say it. Or Hitman, since you have to take out targets that are evil, yes, but they're not attacking you because you have to be stealthy about it. Again, those can be seen about going against the new guidelines. They're not being specific here. But then again, you can say, oh, Quinn, Hitman is not mass violence. I totally get that. But again, considering that they're saying violence against any realistic human character, if violence is happening to a character that looks like a real human, I'm sorry, it's really wishy-washy. If I were YouTube, I would be putting games, for example, and say why those would be the examples. And perfect timing that these new guidelines will be in effect before GTA 6 comes out. It's not that I don't understand this, because I do, but we still have videos being wrongfully flagged when it comes to their gambling related content, even though they are following YouTube's current TOS on it. I don't see how their AI system, in all honesty, won't falsely be taking down videos or flagging them as age-restricted videos, even though us as creators have done our job in blurring, cutting out, and even putting images onto it so it won't be seen. Then, while appealing the video after doing all of that, after doing what we were supposed to be doing, it still get flags, or it still get taken down, we appeal it, and then when it gets redone, they grant us the appeal. Okay, now you have lost your video in the algorithm. It is no longer going to be pushed anymore because it is technically not a new video. And I just love, can I just put this out for a little second? And what about those videos that are aimed towards children, obviously? But from what I see, they're still being uploaded onto YouTube, even though they have a really, really adult content on them For those of you who do not know what I'm talking about, please do not seek him out. Please don't do that. And for those of you who do know what I'm talking about, I'm sorry. But if you don't know what I'm talking about, look at a YouTuber called August the Duck. You need to do some serious scrolling for that one. But yeah, why aren't we focusing on those channels? From what I see, gaming content on YouTube was what made it thrive. I mean, heck, that's how PewDiePie made it. He was very, very big on Let's Plays. I think he started out with Amnesia, The Dark Descent, if I'm not mistaken, but I probably am. I probably don't remember it. I know I started watching him a lot when I was in high school. Damn. I just know a lot of people are going to be doing massive amounts of editing if their video falls under these categories. And like I said, even though you're being kind of specific, you're also kind of not. The duration of, it says fleeting. Okay, I understand that. And I understand it being the main focus of the scene. For compilation videos, I understand that as well. Because if it's a compilation video of it just being violent, I get it. I'm not going to argue with that. But where I'm kind of iffy is if the violence is happening to a character that looks like a real human. That in itself, for me, is iffy because that's so many games. And here's the thing. I don't know if they're doing it because, people keep wanting to push out this whole thing of, oh, video games are making people violent. And let's not, pretend like YouTube doesn't show any rated R movies on their platform. John Wick, I just searched it up. Yes, I can literally rent or buy John Wick Chapter 4. And that is, I don't know if you guys know, but that is a pretty violent movie. And guess what? Violence directed at people that look like real humans. So I don't know why. I will say this, I can't believe I'm giving a point to Twitch, but Twitch literally has a list of what video games are not allowed to be played on their platform. What I feel like YouTube should do is give us something like that. Give us a list of hardcore video games that we are not allowed to upload content onto their platform. Will you be going after content creators because of the type of game that they're playing? I'm pretty sure cozy gamers are safe. Cozy gamers will not have to worry about anything of this nature. Or if your entire channel is Grand Theft Auto content. If your entire channel is Grand Theft Auto content, yes, I can see you having to switch up your entire thing because your entire channel will essentially be violating the guidelines. Every video I can see being age restricted if you're going after, all of the NPCs, because none of the NPCs are doing anything to you. Again, if you get in your car and decide you do not want to drive on the road, if you want to drive on the sidewalk, yes, I'm sorry, your video is going to be age restricted because technically you are committing mass violence. Also as well with, getting your pew-pews and wanting to get those sweet, sweet 5 stars. Guess what? You can't do that anymore. Unfortunately, getting a new game, mostly for your channel, unless you want to severely be editing every single thing that you're doing, because unfortunately, I don't see a wiggle room out of it. If anything, I can see them doing wiggle rooms in order to age restrict content, because if their bot is still continuing to wrongfully age restrict videos, even though it follows their current guidelines, I doubt they're going to get this right. I doubt they're not going to, mess up. I don't think so, And one thing as well for their gambling content is we're expanding our enforcement to now cover online gambling with additional items that have monetary value, including digital goods, video games, skins, cosmetics, NFTs. NFTs, I get it. Cosmetics and video game skins, I'm a bit confused on those. Is that because, loot boxes? if those mean loot boxes, honey, just put loot boxes. Because by you adding video game skins and cosmetics, do you know how many Fortnite skins I have? It is ridiculous, and I hardly play Fortnite now. But it is ridiculous the amount of skins that I have for Fortnite. Cosmetics, I have as well cosmetics. I don't really, again, just say loot boxes. I think you will do much better with saying loot boxes. Because loot boxes, we have been saying for years now, that it is essentially gambling. And people have even said various times that it is essentially gambling. I believe there's one game where you can, I'm not going to say it, but there's an airport scene. I'll leave it at that. And the whole, if violence is happening to a character that looks like a real human, that is a lot. Now, by looks like a real human, are you talking about the player character to NPCs, or are you talking about even NPCs to you? Because there's also games like that. I believe Resident Evil has a certain scene in Resident Evil, I think it's 7. I think it is 7, where Ethan is captured and everything. Those of you who have played it know what I'm talking about. I've never played it. I just watched it on Twitch. I don't know. I want to know what games they're specifically talking about. I know they will not do it. I know it. But like I said, Dead by Daylight is also kind of iffy because you have the killers that are doing the heavy violence to the player character that, again, looks like a real human. Grand Theft Auto, obviously, looks like a real human. Also in advanced torture scenes, and also in mass violence against, NPCs that are not shooting at you and everything because of the rampages that obviously anybody who has played Grand Theft Auto has done. You cannot tell me that you have never done any of that. Silent Hill, again, you have monsters that are doing that to you, and the character that you're playing as is human and looks like a real human. Again, there's a lot of wiggle room for their AI to mess up. So in my opinion, I know they won't do it, but in my opinion, they really do have to put the examples of games and specifically why those games are being targeted, if that makes sense. Sleeping Dogs does have that kind of content. There is a scene where it has that kind of content, which I specifically edited. Heavily edited. For those of you who do not know, I will link my Sleeping Dogs video in the description down below so you can see what I'm talking about. It's a deep dive. Obviously, if you want, you can skip through it or whatever, or just keep going forward so you can see what I'm talking about. But let us know specifically what you're looking for. You don't have to show us pictures, but at least be specific with your wording enough for us to know what you're looking for and for what you're going to be age restricting. This is being detailed, but at the same time, it is being vague. Anyway, guys, that is it for me. I've been going on and on for much too long, and I shall let you guys rest from the sound of my voice. I am so sorry. And sorry that a lot of this was not even scripted. I went on this whole tangent, and by the end of it, I was just like, F this script. I don't care. Anyway, guys, thank you all so much for watching, for listening. I couldn't have asked for better people here. I do have a second channel, like I said before, where I put VODs of my streams on there. It is literally just dedicated for that. So if you want to go there, subscribe, whatever you want, or maybe you can subscribe here. I also stream on Twitch, and yeah, I don't know. I like it. I've been streaming a lot. I just finished streaming Spider-Man 2 on Twitch, and now I'm moving on to Lost Records, Bloom and Rage. I'm very slow, okay, guys? I'm barely going over all of my back catalog. And yes, I will also be putting out game reviews on this channel for Spider-Man 2 since I just finished that one. Anyway, guys, thank you all so much for watching, and have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye.